The train screeched to a halt in Penn Station, its brakes howling like a banshee in the underbelly of Manhattan, and I stumbled out into the crush of rush-hour zombies, my heart pounding from a nightmare that had chased me from sleep. "Mommy?" came the tiny voice, slicing through the din like a shard of glass. Innocent, insistent, laced with a desperation that yanked me back a decade to the night Alex walked out, his duffel bag slung over his shoulder, whispering, "I can't do this anymore, Nate. Not like this." And there he was, not Alex, but a boy no older than 8, wide-eyed and freckled, clutching a crumpled ticket stub. His face a ghost of the man who'd shattered me. Same tousled chestnut curls, same dimpled chin, same piercing blue eyes that once made me believe in forever. I froze, the platform tilting under my feet, the scent of stale pretzels and exhaust choking the air. The kid's gaze locked on mine, unblinking, as if he'd known me his whole life, or at least the 9 years he'd been breathing. Commuters swirled around us like a human tornado, but in that split second, the world narrowed to his upturned face, flushed with hope and confusion. "Mommy, you came," he said again, his small hand reaching out, fingers splayed like he was grasping for a lifeline. My throat closed up, a vice of panic and something achingly tender squeezing tight, because those eyes weren't just Alex's. They were the promise we'd made in that cramped Brooklyn walk-up, under sheets tangled with sweat and secrets, when we dreamed of a family no one else could touch. I dropped to one knee, the cold tile biting through my jeans, and cupped his face gently, my thumb brushing a smudge of chocolate from his cheek. "Hey, little man," I managed, my voice cracking like dry leaves. I'm not your mommy. But tell me your name." "What's going on?" He blinked, tears welling up, and in that hesitation, I saw it all crashing back. The way Alex's laugh could light up a room, the curve of his neck under my lips in the dead of night, the brutal finality of his goodbye letter left on our kitchen table. "I love you, but I need to be someone else." The boy sniffled, wiping his nose on his sleeve. "I'm Eli. Daddy said you'd meet me here. He said you're the one who bakes the best cookies." My blood turned to ice. Alex. After all this time, he'd woven me into some fairy tale for his son. A son who looked like he'd been carved from the best parts of us both. The station clock ticked mercilessly overhead, each second a hammer blow. I glanced around, half expecting Alex to materialize from the shadows, that crooked smile disarming me all over again. But there was only the boy, Eli, his backpack slipping off one shoulder, stuffed with what looked like a teddy bear's ear poking out. "Daddy's late sometimes," Eli mumbled. "From work." "He works at the big building with the flags." My mind raced. Flags? The UN? No, that wasn't Alex. He'd hated suits, preferred paint-splattered jeans and late-night sketches. But grief had a way of rewriting histories, and mine was a palimpsest of what-ifs. I stood, taking his hand, small, warm, trusting, and led him to a bench away from the throng, the fluorescent buzz humming like a swarm of regrets. "Sit tight, kiddo," I said, pulling out my phone. No missed calls, no texts from unknown numbers. Just the usual spam about student loans and therapy apps, reminders of the life I'd patched together since he left. Teaching high school English in Queens, grading essays on Fitzgerald while nursing a scotch that burned less each year. Dates that fizzled like wet firecrackers, friends who tiptoed around the X topic like it was a landmine. And now this, a child claiming me as kin, his features a brutal echo of the man who'd chosen escape over us. "What's your daddy's name, Eli?" I asked, though I already knew the answer, the question a formality to steady my shaking hands. "Alex," he said simply, swinging his legs, sneakers scuffing the floor. "Alexander Hayes. But he says to call him Dad, not the full thing. Hayes, our old shared last name, the one we'd hyphenated in a fever dream of commitment before Doma fell and the world caught up. I'd kept it. He'd shed it like snakeskin." A wave of nausea hit me, and I leaned forward, elbows on knees, fighting the urge to bolt. But Eli's hand found mine again, tiny fingers interlacing with mine as if it were the most natural thing. "You smell like home," he whispered, and damn if that didn't undo me, cracking open the scar tissue I'd spent years cauterizing. We waited. 20 minutes stretched to 40, the platform emptying as the evening exodus waned. I bought him a hot chocolate from a vendor, extra marshmallows, just like Alex used to beg for on cold walks home from the bar, and he chattered about school, about a hamster named Mr. Whiskers that bit the class bully, his laughter a melody I hadn't heard in too long. Each giggle peeled back layers, revealing glimpses of Alex in the tilt of his head, the way he scrunched his nose at the steam. I told him stories to fill the silence, tall tales of city adventures, dodging pigeons in Central Park, riding the cyclone at Coney Island till your stomach flipped inside out. He leaned into my side, head on my shoulder, and for a heartbeat, I let myself imagine it. Us three, a makeshift family stitched from frayed threads. Then my phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. "Nate, it's Alex. Emergency at work. Can you watch Eli till I get there, please? Address attached." Attached was a brownstone in Harlem, photos of a life I didn't recognize, toys scattered on hardwood, a swing set in a postage stamp yard. My fingers hovered over the keys, rage bubbling up like bile. "Why me, after everything?" I typed, but deleted it, glancing at Eli, now dozing against me, thumb in mouth like a secret weapon against the world's sharp edges. "Fine. But we're talking." I hit send, the weight of 10 lost years settling on my chest like an anchor. The cab ride uptown was a blur of honking taxis and sodium-lit streets, Eli's head bobbing in sleep against the window. Harlem unfolded in its evening rhythm, kids shooting hoops under floodlights, stoops alive with laughter and domino clacks. The brownstone loomed modest and inviting, flower boxes blooming defiantly against the chill. I paid the driver, hoisted Eli's backpack, and carried him up the steps, his weight feather-light in my arms. The key under the matte classic Alex, trust baked into his bones, turned with a click that echoed like a gunshot in my skull. Inside, the air smelled of lemon polish and something savory simmering on the stove. Chili, maybe, with cumin and heartbreak. Photos lined the walls. Eli as a toddler, cake-smeared grin. Alex, older but unmistakable, cradling him on a beach, waves crashing behind. No trace of me, not a single frame. I settled Eli on the couch, tucking a throw blanket around him, soft, knitted, the kind I'd once started for us but abandoned when he left. The kitchen clock read 8:17 p.m. I poured a glass of water, hands trembling, and sank into a chair, staring at the door like it might swallow me whole. When the key finally scraped in the lock at 9:45, I was numb, the fight drained out like blood from a fresh wound. Alex stepped in, coat dusted with rain, eyes widening as they met mine. He looked. God, he looked like home, lines etched deeper around his mouth, silver threading his temples, but that same jaw, that same quiet intensity. Nate, he breathed, the name a prayer and a curse. Eli stirred, murmuring, "Daddy?" and bolted awake, launching into Alex's arms. "Hey, buddy," Alex said, voice thick, hugging him close. "Missed you today," over Eli's shoulder, our eyes locked. Mine accusatory, his pleading. The boy wriggled free, yawning. "Uncle Nate's here. He got me hot chocolate." Alex's face crumpled, just a flicker, before he masked it with a nod. "Yeah, he did. Go brush your teeth, champ." Bedtime story in 5. Eli scampered off, leaving us in the wreckage of unspoken words. The silence stretched taut as piano wire, ready to snap. Alex shrugged off his coat, hanging it with deliberate care, buying time. I stood, arms crossed like armor, the kitchen island a no-man's land between us. "Uncle Nate," I echoed, the words tasting like ash. "What the hell is this, Alex? A decade of radio silence. And now I'm the emergency sitter in your kid's origin story." He ran a hand through his damp hair, the gesture so familiar it twisted the knife. "It's not like that." Work ran late, a deposition dragged on. I didn't know who else to call. Eli's mom. "She's out of town." Eli's mom. The phrase landed like a sucker punch, sucking the air from the room. We talked about kids once, in those hazy post-coital confessions, surrogacy or adoption whispered like sacred vows. But that was before he bailed, before he chose the straight and narrow path to fit the Hayes family mold. "Sarah," he continued, voice low, as if saying her name might summon ghosts. "We met right after. After us. She was kind, stable. We got married 3 years in. Eli came along quick. Miracle baby, they called him." He forced a laugh, brittle as autumn leaves. "Turns out, I was good at playing house. Better than I ever was at being real." I barked out a laugh, sharp and joyless. "Playing house? That's rich. You left me gutted, Alex. I sold everything we built, the loft, the sketches on the walls, that damn coffee table you carved our initials into. I clawed my way back, therapy sessions and bad hookups, telling myself you were dead or in witness protection because how else do you explain vanishing on the man you swore to love?" My voice rose, echoing off the cabinets, and I caught myself, glancing toward the hallway where Eli's toothbrush hummed faintly. Alex winced, stepping closer, his cologne, same sandalwood blend, wafting like a taunt. "I was scared, Nate. 25, fresh out of Pratt, with my folks breathing down my neck about grandkids and legacy. You were my everything, but the world. It wasn't ready. Hell, I wasn't. I thought if I started over, clean slate, I could outrun it. But I couldn't." His eyes, those damn blue eyes, glistened under the pendant light. "Every day, I see you in him. The way he furrows his brow when he's thinking, how he hums off-key to Springsteen. I told him stories about Uncle Nate to keep you alive, without dragging you into the mess. The mess. That's what we'd become, remnants in a bedtime tale." I sank onto a stool, the fight ebbing into exhaustion. "And Sarah? Does she know? About us?" He shook his head, gaze dropping to the countertop, tracing a phantom scar. Not the full truth. Bits and pieces. We're separated now 6 months. She's seeing someone from her yoga class. Eli asks about you sometimes. Says he dreams of a man with hazel eyes who teaches him magic tricks. Magic tricks. I'd shown Alex card flourishes once. In a dive bar off Bleecker. Our knees knocking under the table as we plotted a life unbound by labels. A sob caught in my throat, unbidden, and Alex was there in an instant, his hand on my shoulder warm, tentative, like testing holy water. Nate, I'm sorry. God, I'm so sorry. I never stopped. He broke off as Eli padded back in, pajamas rumpled, clutching a dog-eared copy of Where the Wild Things Are. Story time. Daddy? Uncle Nate can help. The innocence in his plea was a bomb and a barb, pulling us into domestic orbit. We read together, the three of us on the couch, Eli sandwiched between, his head lolling against my arm by the time Max sailed home. Alex's voice wove through the pages, deeper now, laced with the gravel of years, but still capable of making monsters dance. When Eli conked out mid-snore, I carried him to bed, blue walls plastered with rocket ships, a night light casting starry constellations. Tucking him in, I whispered, "Sweet dreams, little astronaut," and something in me cracked wide open, a fissure letting in light I'd long forgotten. Downstairs, Alex poured scotch, our old brand, Macallan 12, the bottle half empty like an accusation. We clinked glasses in the dim living room, rain pattering against the bay window overlooking the stoop. To what? I asked, the burn sliding down easy. To ghosts, he sipped, eyes distant. To second acts. Sarah filed last month. Said I was checked out, living half a life. She wasn't wrong. The admission hung heavy, and I saw it then, the toll of his charade. Shadows under his eyes, the way his shoulders slumped like a man carrying invisible chains. Tell me everything, I said, not sure if I meant the past or the present. He did, in fits and starts, the scotch loosening tongues and truths. How he'd landed in advertising, sketching campaigns for blue-chip clients, trading canvas for billboards. The wedding in the Hamptons, white tents and forced smiles, Sarah radiant in lace while he choked on vows that rang hollow. Eli's birth, a blur of joy and terror, holding that squirming bundle and seeing my reflection in his tiny fists. I named him Elijah after my granddad, Alex said, but in my head, it's for you, Eli, short for the light you brought me. I reached across the coffee table, fingers brushing his, and electricity sparked, old circuits firing despite the rust. Why now? Why pull me back in with a kid who thinks I'm family? He leaned forward, elbows on knees, the pose mirroring mine from the station. Because I can't do it alone anymore. Therapy's kicking my ass. Group sessions with guys like me, closeted dads unraveling. And Eli. He needs more than half a father. He needs you, if you'll have us. The vulnerability in his plea undid me, stirring embers I'd banked deep. We talked till the scotch ran dry, voices dropping to whispers as the clock chimed 2. Memories flooded. Lazy Sundays in bed, debating Kerouac versus Baldwin, the night Obama won, us dancing barefoot in the street, tears streaming as equality felt tangible. And the end, his parents' ultimatum after a leaked photo from Pride, my pleas falling on deaf ears as he packed. I thought I'd die without you, I confessed, the words spilling like confession. But I lived. For what it's worth. It's worth everything, he murmured, and then his hand was in mine, palm to palm, scars aligning like puzzle pieces. The kiss came tentative, a question on lips, then deepened into answer, salt and heat, 10 years distilled into urgency. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed, the world outside fading to irrelevance. But reality intruded. Eli's soft snores from upstairs, the divorce papers on the sideboard, the chasm we'd have to bridge. I can't just jump back, I said, pulling away, heart hammering. Not with a kid in the mix. What if you run again? His eyes darkened, pain flashing raw. I won't. I've spent years running from you, from myself. But seeing you with Eli tonight, that's the man I fell for. Steady. Kind. The one who makes broken things whole. Flattery, maybe, but laced with truth that resonated bone deep. Dawn crept in, gray light filtering through blinds, as we parted with a hug that lingered too long. His chin on my shoulder, breath warm against my neck. Stay for breakfast? He asked. I shook my head, grabbing my coat. Rain check. But call me. For real this time. Eli woke then, bounding down with bedhead glory, hugging my legs. Bye, Uncle Nate. Make cookies soon. I ruffled his curls, memorizing the feel. Count on it, kid. Out on the street, the city stirred, delivery trucks rumbling, joggers pounding pavement, and I walked to the subway, lighter yet unmoored, Alex's taste lingering like a promise. Back in Queens, my apartment felt cavernous, echoes of emptiness mocking me. I graded papers mechanically, the red pen slashing through adolescent angst. But my mind replayed the night, Eli's trust, Alex's remorse, the fragile thread of possibility. A text buzzed mid-afternoon. Cookies this weekend? Eli's idea. Mine too. I smiled, thumbs flying. Saturday. Your place. Bring the apron. The week blurred, classes on Whitman, leaves turning crimson in Prospect Park. Solitary dinners of takeout Thai. But anticipation hummed, a low current pulling me toward Harlem. Saturday dawned crisp, apple-scented air from street vendors, and I loaded a tote with flour, chocolate chips, the recipe we'd clipped from the times back when. Alex met me at the door, sleeves rolled up, flour already dusting his forearms like war paint. Chef Nate arrives, he quipped, and the ease of it, the banter, felt like slipping into old jeans, worn but faithful. Eli claimed me for assistant duties, perched on a stool, measuring sugar with solemn precision. We baked, the kitchen alive with chaos, dough flying, timers beeping, laughter bubbling over burnt edges. Alex caught my eye over Eli's head, a look that said this messy, sweet normalcy was what we'd lost. After, we picnicked in the yard, blankets spread under the maple, Eli devouring cookies while recounting playground conquests. You're fun, Uncle Nate, he declared, syrup-sticky grin wide. Daddy's happier with you here, the words hung, innocent grenade, and Alex cleared his throat, chasing crumbs with coffee. Eli's got a point. This us feels right, but shadows lingered. Later, as Eli napped, Alex showed me the custody papers, Sarah's signature stark black ink. She's fighting for full, he said, voice tight. Says I'm unstable. The gay dad card. Rage flared hot for him, for the boy upstairs, for the system that still wielded closets like weapons. We'll fight it, I said, surprising myself. Together, his hand found mine, squeeze firm. Yeah. Together, that night, after tucking Eli in with a joint story, pirates and hidden treasures, we lingered on the stoop, stars pricking the city haze. The kiss was slower, exploratory, mapping new territories amid old ruins. Stay, he whispered against my lips. I did, till morning light, bodies entwined in the guest room, whispers tracing apologies into skin. Weeks bled into months, autumn yielding to winter's bite, our rhythm solidifying like frost on window panes. Saturdays became hours, baking marathons morphing into museum jaunts, Eli's small hand in mine as we marveled at dinosaur bones in the natural history, Alex's arm slung casual around my shoulders in crowded galleries. He introduced me as Nate, my partner, the word a quiet revolution, and Eli parroted it without blink, his world elastic with youth. My apartment gathered dust, weekends spilling into weekdays, dinners at home, Alex crashing after late shifts, Eli's crayons invading my coffee table. But cracks spiderwebbed beneath the surface, fine as hairlines in porcelain. Sarah's lawyer circled like a shark, depositions dredging up our past, texts from a decade ago, blurry pride photos unearthed like forensic evidence. It's character assassination, Alex fumed one night, pacing the living room, Eli asleep upstairs. They paint me as flighty, unreliable. As if loving you makes me less of a dad. I pulled him down beside me, hands framing his face. It doesn't. You're the best father I've seen. Patient, present. We'll prove it. Court dates loomed. A January trial date circled in red on the fridge. I cleared my schedule, prepping affidavits with a fervor that surprised us both, witness statements from neighbors, school reports glowing with Eli's progress. Friends from my old life resurfaced. Jamie, the barista who'd served our first date lattes, now a paralegal offering pro bono tweaks. Marcus, my therapist, vouching for Alex's growth in session notes. You're all in, Alex said one evening, snow blanketing the sill as we wrapped gifts for Eli's 9th birthday. Scared, I nodded, honest. Terrified. But this kid. He's got my heart in a vice. The party was small, balloons in the yard, a cake towering with blue fondant waves, Eli's obsession with the sea. Kids from his class swarmed, piñata sticks swinging wild, while parents mingled on the porch, sidelong glances at the two men flanking the host. Sarah arrived late, poised in cashmere, her smile tight as she handed over a wrapped submarine set. Happy birthday, baby, she cooed, kissing Eli's cheek, then fixed me with a cool appraisal. Nathaniel, right? Alex mentions you. The subtext hummed, intruder. We chatted surface, weather, school, but her eyes lingered, probing. Later, as she bundled Eli for a post-party sleepover at her place, she pulled Alex aside, voices low. I caught fragments. This arrangement. Is it serious? Eli needs stability. Alex's jaw set. It is serious. Nate's family now. She glanced my way, expression softening a fraction. Just don't hurt him. Either of you. The warning stung. Maternal armor. But I nodded when she met my gaze. Never. That night, post-party cleanup, Alex cracked open a beer, slumping against the counter. She saw us, the real us, and didn't flinch. Progress. I clinked my bottle to his. Giant leap, but elation soured by dawn. A call from her lawyer. New evidence. Anonymous tip about Alex's history of abandonment. My stomach dropped. What history? Alex paled. The past. Someone dug it up. The leak traced to his firm, a jealous colleague, outed in whispers, seeking payback. Paranoia seeped in. Locked doors. Caller ID checks. Alex jumping at shadows. They're coming for everything, he muttered during a midnight stakeout of our sleep, Eli oblivious in his room. I held him, tracing spine with fingers. Not everything. Not us. But doubt gnawed. Was I the anchor or the chain dragging him under? Valentine's crept up. A Thursday. And Alex planned a surprise. Tickets to Hamilton, Eli with Sarah for the night, dinner at Gramercy Tavern after. The theater buzzed. Lights dimming on revolution and reinvention, mirroring our own. Intermission. In the lobby crush, he turned to me, eyes shining. You know, Nate, you're my shot at redemption. The words warmed, but as applause thundered post-finale, my phone vibrated. Jamie. Bad news. Sarah's pushing for psych eval on Alex. Cites instability. We need to counter fast. We skipped dessert. Cab racing to the office. Papers shuffling under fluorescent glare. This is bullshit, I growled, highlighting precedents till my eyes burned. Alex paced, fists clenched. If I lose him, the fear cracked his voice, raw vulnerability I'd glimpsed only in our rawest nights. I stood, pulling him close. You won't. Fight dirty if we have to. Our kiss was fierce, desperate, ceiling packed against the storm. Spring teased with crocuses in the yard, Eli's laughter chasing away winter's pall. We planted a garden, tomatoes, basil, his tiny hands patting soil, and in those moments, normalcy bloomed. But the trial loomed, a guillotine blade. Opening arguments painted Alex as villain. Flighty artist turned corporate drone. Marriage a sham. Now ensnaring an ex in custody ploy. Sarah testified. Composed. Tears artful. I want Eli safe. Away from. Uncertainty. The word hung. Code for us. My turn came midweek. Suit starch stiff. Palms slick as I took the stand. The lawyer, slick as oil, probed. Mr. Hayes, you and Mr. Alex's last name. He'd reverted to Hayes post-separation dated a decade ago. Ended abruptly. Why? I met his gaze. Steady. Because love's messy. Alex was scared. Of family. Society. He left to protect me from his chaos. But he came back. Not for me, but for Eli. And that's the measure of a man. The courtroom stirred. Judge's pen scratching notes. Alex followed. Voice steady as he recounted growth, therapy, coming out to parents, fractured but mending. Eli's centrality. I failed once, he admitted, eyes on his son in the gallery, fidgeting with a fidget spinner. But failure taught me. Nate's not a rebound. He's the constant I lost and found. Sarah's eyes welled, genuine, this time, and in recess, she approached, Hand extended. He's right. About constancy. Closing arguments thundered, but the verdict came swift. Joint custody, with Alex primary, Sarah weekends. Cheers erupted in the hallway. Eli tackling our legs. We won. Team Nate Dad. Alex crushed me in a hug. Tears hot on my neck. Couldn't without you. Sarah lingered. Awkward olive branch. Coffee sometime? For Eli's sake. I nodded. Bridge building tentative. But euphoria cracked 2 nights later. Eli's sleepover at Sarah's. Us celebrating with Ty on the couch. Wine flowing loose. Alex's phone buzzed, unknown. He answered, face draining. What? Now? Hung up, eyes haunted. It's my mom. Dad had a stroke. In Ohio. I gotta go. Panic flared, trial fresh. Eli's routine fragile. I'll come, I said. He shook head. Family only, Nate. They still. You know, the old wound reopened, salt ground in. After everything, he cupped my face, desperate. It's not rejection. It's habit. Give me time. But time felt like erosion, and as he packed, I saw the ghost of 10 years ago. Duffel zipping, excuses layering. Promise you'll call, I pleaded. Every day, he kissed me fierce. Swear. Eli returned next morning, confused by the quiet house. Where's Daddy? I mustered smile. Helping Grandpa. We'll video soon. Days stretch to a week. Texts sporadic. Mom's a wreck. Dad's stable. Then silence. Eli's questions mounted. When's Daddy home? Miss his pancakes. And I filled gaps with park trips. Ice cream bribes. My heart fracturing with each unanswered ring. Jamie called. Sarah's asking questions. Eli's with her more. What's up? I drove to Ohio unannounced. 4 hours of highway hypnosis. Arriving at the hospital as dusk fell. Fluorescent halls sterile as regret. Alex in the waiting room. Disheveled. Eyes red-rimmed. Nate? What? I cut him off. Voice steel. You've ghosted me. Again. He deflated. It's bad. Dad's asking for me, the real me. Mom finally knows about us. She's processing. Yelling, crying. I can't leave till it's settled. The confession hung, but betrayal soured it. And Eli? Me? We're what? Collateral. His hand reached, but I stepped back. I thought we were past this. Family. But yours trumps mine every time. Tears tracked his cheeks. Don't. Please. I love you. Both of you. But love felt conditional. A draft in the door he'd cracked open. I left. Ohio blurring in rear view. Heart a lead weight. Back in Harlem. Sarah collected Eli without comment, her eyes kind but probing. Take care. Nathaniel. Alone. The brownstone echoed accusations. I packed my things. Slow. Deliberate. Leaving a note. You choose your ghosts. I've chosen life. The door click was final. A decade's echo. Summer scorched the city. Humidity clinging like regret. But I threw myself into survival. Extra shifts tutoring. Runs along the East River till lungs burned clean. Eli's drawings arrived via Sarah. Crayon scribbles of stick figure families. Uncle Nate labeled in wobbly print. And each one knifed deeper. But I framed them. alter to what was. Alex's texts pleaded, "Come back. Therapy together." I ended it with the past for good. I read, deleted, ran harder. August brought a heat wave, blackouts flickering like bad omens, and Jamie dragged me to a rooftop party in Bushwick. Thumping bass, fairy lights strung like hope. There, amid queer joy, drag queens lip-syncing Gaga, bodies grinding free, I danced, first tentative, then fierce, reclaiming skin. A guy approached, tall, bearded, ice-kind, offering a drink. "You look like you need saving," he teased. We talked. Theo, graphic designer, fresh divorcee. Laughter came easy, no baggage weighing it down. Dates followed, coffee in Williamsburg, hikes in the Palisades. Theo's steadiness a balm, his touch gentle without ghosts. "You're healing," he said one night, fingers tracing my scar. "But you're not whole yet." Truth stung, but propelled, I texted Alex. "Eli. One coffee." For him. Neutral ground. A diner off 125th. Eli's face lighting as I slid into the booth. "Uncle Nate. Look. New sneakers." Gaps filled with chatter. Camp stories. Lost teeth. A goldfish funeral. Alex hovered. Gaunt. Eyes hollowed. "Thanks for coming." Small talk skirted edges. Weather. Work. But Eli's play tag. Dissolved barriers. Us chasing him through Morningside Park. Laughter echoing off Harlem Mere. Breathless on a bench. Eli between. Alex ventured. "I fucked up. Again. Mom's coming around, Dad's even asked about you. Said to bring you next visit. Progress. But tardy." "And us?" I asked, voice low. He sighed. "I want us. All of us. But if it's too late." Eli tugged my sleeve. "Stay for ice cream?" How to refuse. Cones dripping in the heat. We wandered. Boy leading parade. Theo texted mid-melt. "Miss you." Dinner? Guilt twinged. Options. A luxury Alex never afforded. "Gotta go," I told them, hugging Eli tight. "Love you, kid." To Alex, "Think on it. What family means." Fall unfurled golden. Leaves carpeting paths. And therapy unpacked layers. Abandonment's echo. Trust's fragility. "You're worthy," Marcus affirmed. "Of love that stays." Theo deepened, shared Lisa's tentative. But his hand in mine felt anchor, not chain. Yet Eli's birthday loomed. 9 now, and Sarah invited. "He wants you there. Both of you." Neutral truce. The party. Pumpkin patch upstate. Hayrides and cider, buzzed familial. Eli tackled me first. "Uncle Nate." Pony ride. Sarah watched. Arm linked with her yoga bow. A quiet vet named Liam. Alex arrived last. Gift bag swinging. Our eyes meeting across the bales, charged. Unresolved. We co-parented seamless. Carving pumpkins. Eli's jack-o'-lantern a toothy Nate grin. Bonfire crackled evening. Stories shared. And as embers died, Alex pulled me aside. "Sarah and I. We're done fighting. Joint everything." And me? I told Mom the full story. She cried, hugged me. Said you're welcome anytime. Vulnerability disarmed, but scars lingered. "It's a start," I said. He nodded, hand brushing mine. "Can we try?" Slow. Theo's face flashed. Steady, uncomplicated, but Eli's plea from earlier, "Why can't we all live together?" tugged heartstrings. For him, I agreed. Trial run. Winter holidays tested. Thanksgiving at Sarah's. Expanded table with Liam's kin. Toasts to new chapters. Alex and I navigated awkward, brushed hands over turkey, stolen glances by pie, Eli's glee bridging. Christmas. We split. Me with Theo's family in Jersey. Warm chaos of ornaments and eggnog. Alex with Eli in Harlem. Photos of tree trimming beamed live. "Miss you," he texted midnight. Theo stirred beside me, murmuring sleepily. Choice loomed. Fork in road. New Year dawned crisp. Resolutions whispered. Theo and I talked, honest, raw. "I see it in your eyes," he said over brunch. Mimosas bubbling. The pull. Go. Be happy. Grace, unearned, released me. I drove to Harlem, snow dusting brownstones, heart pounding arrival. Alex opened door, Eli peeking behind. "Nate!" the boy yelled, launching. Alex's smile tentative. "Heard you were coming." We talked, hours, fire crackling, Eli dozing on rug. Apologies layered deep, his flight, my walls. "I choose us," I said finally, hand in his. Messy, real, the kiss sealed, tender, promise woven. Spring brought moves, my books on his shelves, Theo's well wishes a clean close. Custody stabilized. Sarah's alliance forged in co-parent coffees. Liam's dry humor lightning loads. Eli's 10th summer. We road-tripped Route 66. Echoes of Kerouac dreams. Tenting under stars. S'mores sticky. Alex's arm around me as Eli chased fireflies. "This is it," he murmured, lips on temple. Our forever. Not perfect, arguments flared. Therapy ongoing. Shadows of past flickering, but human, woven tight. Years layered. Eli's bar mitzvah. Us beaming front row. Alex's vows under chuppa proxy for hours. College drop-offs. Empty nests filling with travel. Paris cafes. Sketching side by side. Gray threaded our hair. Lines map joys and griefs. Alex's dad passing gentle. Mom's embrace at funeral warm. Eli, out at 16. Brought home boyfriends with pride, we parented tandem. Hearts full. 50. Penn Station again. Commuters swirling. 10 years inverted. Eli, home from grad school. Hugged fierce. Thanks, dads. For the map, Alex and I, hands clasped, watched him bored. Echoes of that first call. Mommy, now laughter's footnote. His face in the boys. Not haunting, but heritage. We walked out, city pulse sinking hours. Love a decade-mended tapestry. Frayed, resilient, achingly true. In the end, it wasn't erasure or revenge, but grace, choosing each other, daily, through betrayals and redemptions. America, vast and flawed, cradled our story, not fairy tale, but testament. Human, after all.